guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about my plan this month to get healthy. For a lot of people, healthy means that their body changes in a certain way. For some people, it's changing your diet, eating a certain way. And for me, it is getting myself to a point where I feel good. I have been sick for a very long time, just with a low immune system, generic cold flu type of way, but I keep catching it over and over and over again, probably since around November. So I wanted to take this month of March to really commit to my body, commit to my health, and see what can come of that. My goal, the simplest goal that I have, don't get sick, stay not sick for at least a month. If nothing else, that is my goal. I want to be not sick for at least 1 month. I don't feel like it's too much to ask for, but with the way that things have been going, you just never really know. So I took photos, I took measurements of my body, both weight and size measurements. I will say now that my goal is not to lose weight. I am 5'10", I weigh about 129 pounds, and that about puts me right on the border of underweight and normal on pretty much every single website that I have looked at or doctor that I have been to. So my goal is not to lose weight. If anything, my goal is to gain weight through muscle mass, and I think that a lot of diets and a lot of health programs are aimed at losing weight, and that is not my aim in any sense. I'm not unhappy with how my body looks. I'm unhappy with how my body feels. So by measuring different parts of my body, I just want to see if when I start to do these really gentle exercises, if it does kind of affect me in any sort of way. So I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm not trying to lose weight at all. So just putting that out there. And then I went online and I took a health assessment online test. And any time that you do this, you really want to take it with like a grain of salt, or like many grains of salt, because you're not seeing someone in person. They can't really prescribe you anything, and they can't really assess in a very accurate way because they're not seeing you. Basically, what this online assessment test did was it asked me a bunch of different questions, and then it generated answers for me based on those questions. So it would say, for example, do you have brittle nails that chip or crack easily? I said yes, and then in my big health report, it generates a little response that says nails that are brittle and crack easily might be caused by calcium deficiencies. By doing this, I wanted to get a standard for what does the most like generic assessment think that I should be doing to be healthy. Starting there as a base and building up on top of that. So for example, it asked me what my workout habits are. I told them that I do 0 aerobic exercises during the week, and that I do 0 strength training exercises during the week, and that I do a little bit of stretching exercises during the week, for example, yoga. So then in the health report, it tells me that I really should be doing aerobic exercises, and that the recognized standard is minimum 20 minutes, but preferably 30 to 60 minutes 2 times a week, getting yourself to your aerobic zone, which is a certain heart rate. And then it did the same thing with strength training, just giving me the recommended averages for how often people should be strength training, the recommended number of exercises per body part, etc. So it gave me all of that, and that's kind of what I'm basing part of my health on. In addition to the physical activity, it also asked me things about my diets. For example, do I eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day? Do I put butter on my toast often? How many times a week do I eat fried foods? Things like that. And it wasn't great, my answers. I'm a vegetarian, I'm gluten-free, I have been mostly lactose intolerant my entire life, and more recently have become more severely lactose intolerant. Just with that information, a lot of people would say, oh, Well, you are healthy because you're a vegetarian and you eat gluten-free, and those things are healthy. But what people don't understand about those diets is that it's really easy to be an unhealthy vegetarian, and it's really easy to eat unhealthy gluten-free foods. You can go and buy chocolate cupcakes at Trader Joe's that are gluten-free, and those are not healthy for you because they're gluten-free. Those cupcakes are only for you if you want to eat a cupcake but you can't digest gluten. It's not a healthy alternative. I have a friend who was vegetarian for a year and basically just ate pizza all the time and gained a large amount of weight, because if you just eat pizza all the time, it is vegetarian. If you don't put meat on the pizza, it is vegetarian. That does not make it healthy pizza. So when I'm answering these questions and it asks me how many times a week do I eat fried foods, I say probably 3 to 4 times a week, and the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Again, just because I'm a vegetarian does not mean that I am getting those servings. So a typical day for me before I started this kind of dietary change kind of puts me at like 2 servings of vegetables a day. Obviously it depends on the day, but I decided that that was something that I really wanted to address. So what I decided I needed to work on in terms of physical health was really actually incorporating exercise into my life, because at this point it's pretty much non-existent. And then in terms of diet, I wanted to cut back on sweets and fried foods where I can. I don't want to eliminate them completely from my diet because I like sweets and I like fried foods, and I think that if I'm doing a healthier diet in other places, then there's still room for those things in my life in moderation. And then really make sure that I was getting my 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. And what that would do for me would enhance the food that I'm already eating. Because I have so much stuff cut out of my diet, it is hard for me to get all the nutrients that I need. So adding that in gives me more nutrients, it gives me healthier meals because I am incorporating more vegetables into them. Generally makes me more conscious about what I'm eating and what I'm putting in my body. So the next thing that I did was I set up a tracker for myself so that I could really keep track of what I was wanting to do every single day and making sure that I was actually keeping up with those. So I made a tracker on my iPad. Having it be a digital tracker for me means that I have it at work, that I can kind of update it as I go throughout my day because I take my iPad with me to work. And these are the things that I put on it that I think are pretty undisputable in terms of healthy habits. So the first thing that I have in my day is morning stretching. And I don't have a time limit on this. This is just making sure that in the morning I stretch my body, I get any sort of aches or kinks out, just a little bit of movement, helping me incorporate that into my every single day and helping me feel better throughout the day. The second one, I have a space for me to list any vitamins that I have taken that day. So some days I'll just take a multivitamin, some days I'll take vitamin D and iron. I'll just kind of mix it up. That way I'm getting a little bit of supplement in there, but I'm not really relying heavily on my vitamins to give me the nutrients that I need. And this is something that I've done for a while now. Vitamins is on my daily tracker in my bullet journal, so I have been keeping track of my vitamin intake for a while, but now I'm actually writing down the specific vitamins that I have taken. The third thing that I listed on my tracker was a space for me to write down the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables that I have during the day. I write down every time I have a serving of fruits or vegetables, I write them down. I have a space 1 through 5 where I can put it. The next thing that I included on my tracker to mark whether I had drank any alcohol that day. And this is not a huge issue for me, especially in these past several months when I have been so sick. I have really cut down on my alcohol intake, but I wanted to try to really track how often I am drinking and keep it to 2 to 3 times a month. Next, I have a space to mark my workout for the day. So what I'm aiming for are 2 30-minute aerobic exercises and 2 30-minute strength training exercises per week. And because I have not been working out at all, I'm starting very slow. Just making the commitment to spend 30 minutes 4 times a week. That means that there's 3 days that I don't have to work out in the week. And that seems like a pretty decent deal. The next space I have 8 little Scantron bubbles where I can fill out that I've drank 8 glasses of water a day. I'm pretty loose on what constitutes a glass, but I just want to make sure that I actually am staying hydrated enough. And the past 3 days doing this, it's been really hard to get those 8 glasses in. The next one I have is evening stretching, and this is kind of coupled with the morning stretching. Again, there's no time limit on this. I just want to make sure that I am stretching out my body and being a little bit more in tune with how I feel right before I go to bed. I have just a little space to mark that I've taken care of my oral health twice a day. This is, again, not something that I'm particularly bad at, but I just want to have a space to keep track of it. And the last thing that I'm tracking is how many hours of sleep I got the night before. And this one for me can be a little bit tricky because my bedtime varies a lot, but I always wake up at the same time. I have an alarm set for 7:30 every single morning. That's when our cats need to be fed. They're on a specific diet, and often I don't fall asleep again after then. This means that if I go to bed at midnight, I get 7.5 hours of sleep, but often I'll go to bed at 1 in the morning, and then that means that I only get 6.5 hours of sleep. Hopefully this will encourage me to go to bed a little bit earlier because I know that I have to wake up at 7:30. So those are the things that I'm tracking every day. I'm gonna do this for a month. I'm gonna take new pictures of my face and new measurements every single week to see how things are moving along. If they move along at all, this might be something that requires more than 1 month to see changes, and I will try and update you as I can in vlogs or in another kind of sit-down chat. I feel excited about making these changes. I feel like they are changes that are not too severe, that they're not going to make me miserable, and that they're things that I really should be doing and that I really should be paying attention to a little bit more. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and listening and watching, and I will see you around in my next video. Bye-bye.